What's going on, everybody? We're back again with another NFL game preview, and in this game, we're going to talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Baltimore Ravens. One of the great AFC rivalries, one of the best NFL rivalries over the last 15, 20 years, maybe. This has been one of the better rivalries in football over the last couple of years. I do believe that the Ravens actually swept the Steelers last year, which is all Ravens fans care about. My brother's a Ravens fan, and after the Ravens had a bad year, that's all he was talking about. We swept the Steelers. We swept the Steelers. That's all that matters. But yeah, both of these teams, I can't tell you who's the best in the AFC North. The Ravens had looked like the best in the AFC North before they went to London and got beat down by the Jaguars. The Steelers had looked pretty good in the AFC North. Their offense isn't really clicking. They're 15th in passing yards, 30th in rush yards, and 22nd in total yards, 17th in points per game. Normally with this offense, we're looking big plays. We're looking right at Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell. Big Ben is able to find his guys. They just got Martavis Bryant back this year. This team has weapons. Now, this matchup normally is among the lowest scoring matchups in the NFL. You never see these two teams get into a shootout. I think you're going to see that again. The Ravens offense also has not really been clicking. Their defense looked good through 2 weeks, and then London happened. This Ravens offense is ranked 23rd in points, 32nd in total yards, 32nd in pass yards, and 4th in rush yards. So they're able to run the ball. They have used 3 or 4 different running backs this year. Javoris Allen, Buck Allen, Terrence West, Alex Collins. All 3 of those guys have over 100 rushing yards combined on the season. Yeah, Joe Flacco is coming. Didn't play any preseason snaps. He's coming off of some a back problem. As we all know, with quarterbacks, back problems is a huge issue. So there's that. Now, I do think that the Ravens have the more superior defense in this matchup. That secondary is going to be tested, though, against, obviously, this offense. Now, I think this game is at 10 o'clock, I believe. 10 o'clock or maybe even 1. But this is one of the better games of Sunday. I mean, you know you're getting a rivalry game. Steelers and Ravens, they hate each other. This goes all the way back to when Ray Lewis was playing. But yeah, now some key matchups to look for here are going to be obviously going to be that Baltimore secondary versus Big Ben and those receivers. On the season, the Ravens have kind of been torched a little bit to the tune of 6.7 yards per attempt, but they also have 8 interceptions, so that's huge. Wow, 8 interceptions, really? That's a lot. That's a lot of interceptions. But yeah, through 3 games, they have 8 interceptions and 5 sacks, which isn't that much, but they're probably getting pressure, which leads to bad throws. Looks like teams are only completing about 50% against them. I guess their pass defense has been okay. They probably were torched up in London. Stats might be inflated because of that. On the season, though, I think their corners are Jimmy Smith, Brandon Carr. Brandon Carr has been playing really well, and Marlon Humphrey, who they drafted out of Alabama. So those 3 guys are going to have their hands full with Antonio Brown, Juju Smith, Martavis Bryant, Le'Veon Bell is lining out wide. But yeah, another key matchup is going to be Joe Flacco making this offense move against that defense. Now, this offense, like I said, is 32nd in total yards, 32nd in pass yards, and only 121 pass yards per game. So this team is going to have to find a way to... I'm going to say it, Joe Flacco is probably going to have to check down his way all the way down the field using Buck Allen, using Mike Wallace, guys like that, Jeremy McClain. They're going to have to use guys like that in the short to intermediate game to get this ball down the field and give Justin Tucker a chance to kick field goals in this game, because that's something the Ravens are really good at, is getting to field goal range and making sure Justin Tucker wins them games. And the third key matchup in this game is going to be the special teams. First time we're saying this in one of these weekly NFL game previews, but special teams. Ravens have the clear advantage with Justin Tucker. Like I said, with these two teams playing each other, it always comes down to a field goal here or there. Field goals and turnovers. So special teams play and turnover play here in this matchup is going to be a huge thing to look at here, because it's an AFC North battle. Both teams want to be in first place and leaving week 4. So that's something to look at. So we're going to go to our 3 reasons why. 3 reasons why the Steelers will win is because they're able to get big plays. They're able to test that Ravens secondary. Big plays from Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown could catch 10 balls for 80 yards, and I'd be okay as a defensive coordinator. But if he catches 10 passes for 130 yards and 2 touchdowns, that's a whole nother thing to talk about. So that's a key matchup. That's one reason why you got to limit Antonio Brown's big plays. Number 2 is that they're able to get Le'Veon Bell going on the ground. Now, the Steelers' offensive line is very underrated, and it's one of the better offensive lines in football. The Steelers, though, in the rushing game, has only averaged 69 yards per game. So something's got to happen. The Steelers have to get back to feeding Le'Veon Bell, getting him in space, finding ways to get him the ball. And the number 3 reason why the Steelers will win is that they're able to make Joe Flacco look like an average quarterback. Of course, I think he's average already. But they're able to make Joe Flacco look average to below average, hit him a little bit, and force some turnovers. Now, 3 reasons why the Ravens will win is that they're able to limit those big plays. So they're able to limit those big plays, keep this game close, play the field goal position game, and get field goals from Justin Tucker. Number 2, Joe Flacco plays the best football he's played this season in this game. He completes over 65% of his passes, no turnovers. This offensive line keeps him standing upright, and they're able to win this game because he's able to get the ball to somebody open for one big play in this game that leads to a touchdown. Might be the only touchdown of the game if it's only field goals. Number 3 reason why is that the Ravens are able to continue running the ball, effectively setting up that play action. Joe Flacco loves his tight ends, so he likes to hit the tight ends. So you have to watch that as a Steeler. But they're able to use that play action, use those tight ends in that play action game. You can be able to have a big game here for the Ravens. Now, I predict that the Ravens will win this game. Why? Their defense. Their defense is able to create that pressure. They have the advantage. I think they have the advantage in 2 out of the 3 phases, which is defense and special teams. And normally if you win 2 out of 3 phases, you win the game. So if they're able to flip field position, make Ben Roethlisberger run for his life, and force a couple of interceptions, they're going to win this game. I see them winning this game 13-10. 13-10, 13-9, 16-13, somewhere around there. No way these teams score above 20 points. That's going to do it for me. Thanks for watching, and I'm out.